What up, guys? Welcome back to All Gas Podcast. I'm Factor.
I'm Kevin, and this is Sean.
A.K.A. Baby Thor. So, don't forget, guys,
Let's
like,
sit down,
comment,
man.
subscribe, do the whole thing. Thanks for coming up. Oh, we came down. Fuck.
Factor finally came out, though.
Yeah.
You gotta watch Fat Kids All Gas Podcast to hear more about that one, though.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Right?
But, so, we're on audio format, iTunes, Spotify, Podcast Addict, whatever you guys want. We're on there, Google Podcasts. Check us out on there. But in the meanwhile, it's been way too much. We're not supposed to drink on podcasts, but these guys, it's impossible.
Mine's a duels. Mine's a fake.
Mine identifies as Avion. Just saying.
This is smart water. It makes you smarter.
All right. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Oh, I'm not too bad. How you guys doing
I
today?
think we're doing pretty good.
Couple beers, some tacos.
Beers, some tacos,
Some good tacos.
some race cars,
Yeah, chopping it up.
chopping up. So,
Crow found some coilovers.
coilovers. So,
Thanks,
let's get
Factor.
into it. You've been around the scene for a long time.
Couple years here and there, give or take.
What got you into it? Let's just start. Day
Right,
one.
start the whole
Start
time.
the beginning.
Where did it begin? How did it
fuck.
begin?
That was probably about 98 with me and my brother. I didn't even have a license, but going out to the street races every night and kind of getting into that atmosphere and vibe. Shortly thereafter, Aaron blew up the motor in his Civic, and that's when we started learning how to do swaps. Couldn't afford to pay people anymore. Mom's cut him off. Said, "I'm paying to fix your car anymore." So we learned how to fix all the cars ourselves. So
Cool.
from there on out, it kind of progressed, working with various shops over the years and learning how to basically do everything ourselves.
So, what got you into Hondas?
Fuck, that's what we started out with. I didn't really know much about cars. My dad was a car guy, but I never got super into cars or learning the dynamics of cars and import versus domestic. It just kind of happened that our first car, when I say our first car, my brother's first car was a Honda, and we kind of just went from there. We learned how to work on it, and that's what I knew. So that was the one constant.
So, what was your first Honda?
My first Honda was actually my brother's first Honda because he stopped making payments to my mom. I had bought it.
He took
straight
over
threw
the
you under
lease.
the bus.
Right. He took over the lease.
I didn't have a license, but I owned the car. I never even got to drive it, but he would pick
How do
me
you
up from
own
time to
something
time.
that you can't drive?
I just had money and I didn't have a license. Although I did take his a few times and drive the car. When he was out of town, I stole his license.
So, when did you start racing? Like, around what time? What kind of car?
All right, when did you... So,
What
you
got you
own
to
that
where
car,
you're
but
at
when you finally got a license, what was your first car?
My first car was, technically, it's still the same car. I didn't get my license until I was 18, so... Was a 1990 Civic Si hatchback with a twin cam ZC swap, and I thought it was the baddest shit on earth. In all reality, it wasn't that fast, but at the street races and stuff, it did all right. Wasn't the slowest thing out there.
Well, back in fucking 82, I mean...
So, but we used to be out at the street races 5 nights a week.
Damn.
From Ontario to Sylmar to Compton to... I can't even remember. It's been so long, but almost every night of the week we were out at a race. And it's different than these days. It was just people line up and run them, hot lapping it, hot lapping it, hot lapping it.
Well, that's what we were talking. I mean, we've talked about that a few times with him street racing, where he street races, and his generation of street racers and stuff. And I've gone to a few of their little events. I wouldn't even call it event, just their little runs, whatever. And watching, 2 or 3 cars, 5 or 10 cars, whatever, and then going to back when I was street racing and back when the street racing was just bigger scene.
Yeah, but when me and you really started hanging out, it was kind of towards the end of end of an era.
But
it was different from when I started, because when I started, we'd get 400 or 500 cars out there.
Fast and the Furious kind of presented the end of an era, I believe, of the street races where you would just go line up next to whoever. You'd see someone running and they looked fast, and you'd be like, "Hey, what's up? Let's get it on,"
Yeah.
And then you guys would just go line up, and there would be 100 cars
Oh yeah, well,
that were lined up getting ready to race.
Well, I'm basing it off of like Mountain House versus Logistics. You know what I mean? You look at
No, you can't say logistics because logistics was popping too.
Not
at
compared to Mountain House,
bro,
never.
At logistics, we used to put up canopies.
I know.
Bring out generators and watch TV and race from 6 a.m.
I'm saying
to the next day.
I'm
So
just
how
saying
was that,
amount of
you know what I'm
cars.
saying?
Not,
we never
there
had
was
that
a-
luxury.
there was
we
a
were
amount-
always
there was a
getting
amount of
chased
cars.
out by the cops.
Nah, there was a amount of cars, but we got kicked out. But sideshows ruined that spot. I mean, but you can't say that it was like completely dead because we had logistics.
I'm
was
not
cracking.
saying like dead. I'm just saying comparing it's Mountain House was way bigger than logistics ever was. The
I have
amount of
no
times you guys
idea.
could have run.
But don't
I
say
have
like
no
5,
idea
10
what they're
cars.
talking about.
This is a NorCal argument.
Right.
So yeah, back to your car.
Right. What came after the ZC and whatnot? What was actually your?
I've had like 47 cars in the last 20 years, so it's kind of hard to say what was what. I think the first time I got on the track was probably, I don't know, 04, 05. I had a 4-door Civic with a LS VTEC turbo. That was pretty fun. It went 1160 or something, not that fast, but it had a full system in it. Thought I was the baddest shit out there. But it was a fun car to drive. It made 450 on race gas and like 330 or something on pump gas. But like I said, that was a long time ago, back when there was the Delta Gate and FMUs and S100, Honda S100s. And,
Back to the blue box.
yeah, it was bad back then. People today don't know how good they have it.
Right. So tell us a little about your car. I mean, either about your old car or, I mean, if you want to give the information out on the
All right,
the new one. I mean,
so the gray car, the one that I've been racing for the last 3 years, started out as a B Series nitrous car. We kept melting plugs, had bad bottle, kept clogging up all the nitrous jets, and then I had an opportunity to get some K Series parts, so we said, hey, let's give it a try. Went to the dyno, made some decent horsepower. Second pass down the track, we broke a valve. That motor, we put a new block in it, one new piston, and that was the very first motor that I went 10s on. And the best time on that motor was a 10.003, I believe, at Fontana. But that was stock sleeve, small valves on a little bit of nitro, I think about 2 years ago now. Currently, I just got done finishing the green car, what we call the Goblin V2. It's got a Drag Cartel K20 in it. That's 89.5 bore with the Elite 99 crank, titanium valves, Drag Cartel head, and a set of Kinsler 70mm throttle bodies. We're actually going to go test the new car tomorrow. And shake it down at an 8th mile race in San Diego.
a week or two ago.
A week or two ago.
This
yes.
doesn't film or
Yeah, I know it's not live, but
Don't know when it's gonna drop. Bro.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So what made you go the new route? I mean, why not just continue with this program?
Well, before we go into that, why all motor?
fuck, that's hard to say. Probably because I thought it was going to be cheaper.
Because he can't drive a turbo car.
I can't drive a
I was
turbo
gonna say
car.
because your brother says you can't drive a turbo car.
I can
so-
drive a turbo
can't
car, I
launch a
just
turbo
can't
car.
launch
You
a
just
turbo
can't
car.
launch turbo. That's right.
There's two differences. I could drive a motherfucker, I just can't launch it.
He can only hit 20 miles per hour less than his brother, but
Hey, I pulled the parachute for the first time at 170. It was kind of sketchy. Should be wiggling around back there. You're like, what the fuck's going on over there? So, I don't know. I didn't want to race the same class as my brother, and it seemed like there was a lot of options for the all-motor class, so I said, hey, let's go ahead and give it a try. The class has evolved quite a bit since I started racing in all-motor 3 years ago, I think. There were a few 9-second cars, but there was no consistent 9-second cars in the field, especially not on a small crank. So we went out, we had fun. On a stock transmission in the gray car, we went 1050 on a stock transmission with a stock ported head with an oversized valve and a custom piston and rod. But as everything goes, we were trying to progress. We put a little bit bigger motor in. We put it on some Nitro. And that motor, I think, before we broke it, we broke 2 rods. The best on that, I think, was a 969 at 144 or 970 at 144.
Yes.
So there was a lot of room for improvement, but we blew it up.
I was gonna say, well, what's your PB now? Now that you did 960 and that,
I think it's either 969 or 975. I don't know. I don't really keep up with trying to set a personal best. I just go out there and have a good time. I'm not out there trying to beat up anybody. I do this because I enjoy doing it and it's fun to drive.
You better keep that same energy because earlier you was talking.
You still got head up.
No, you were talking some other shit earlier.
You got the hit factor. For sure. You hear this factor got the hit with the old car if it's still around.
It'll be around. It'll be here for a couple months.
By the time this podcast airs, maybe Factor will figure his shit out.
So since you don't have personal best and whatever, like you said, what makes you keep progressing in making bigger motors, new chassis?
I haven't really been on a big motor yet. I've always been on a 99 crank, and I've only ever had one sleeved K-Series block. So we're actually, Ken's Race Engines is building us a badass 106 for Nitro right now that we're going to try to...
106H?
No, 106 K-Series. not like factory. So we're gonna try
so you
to
want to go fast.
We're gonna try to make.
Ken told me that if I give him a little bit of something, that he'll fuck the motor up. So I'm gonna call Ken later.
So we're gonna try to make between like 550 to 600 ish, somewhere in there, hopefully. My brother's the tuner on the car. He's not really a tuner, so that's why I say we're hoping to make. But he always helps me. My car usually always goes down the track, and it usually always runs halfway decent. So
yeah.
I think before I took the motor out of the gray car to put in the green car, we had been 9-second passes all year with only a...
What the fuck?
only a 10-second pass
PB?
when
What's his
something
PB in
happened.
this car?
968.
Oh, 968. There it is.
Okay.
Sorry, I
140. I think 140.
All right, so
about
see,
as fast as a 93 Camry.
I leave it up to Ken's Race Engines to keep track of my time slips and my personal best because honestly, I really don't care. I just go out and have a good time.
Yeah.
We go race. I'll come back here. I'll fix the cars. I'll fix Fat Kid's car.
So even though you don't care about personal best, whatever, is there ever a number that you would like to achieve just because you keep doing this to keep doing this?
Eventually, I would like to try to crack that 8 that everyone's been on lately. But I have a much smaller budget than a lot of other people in the industry.
Yeah.
Most of everything that we do is done in-house, except for Ken will do our initial motor builds and then we'll service them here. So we do almost everything in-house, what we can. Otherwise, I could not afford to do this.
Yeah.
I don't have
that's
all
what your
this
brother's talking
other
about,
side
right?
money coming in or anything like that. Like, people are like, oh, it must be nice, but they don't realize I'm in the garage 5 nights a week working on the car after work and making sure things are right.
Yeah.
So, real quick, so we're talking about the 8s and all motor, and you're on Nitro. You've been on Nitro. So what's your, because we talked about that many times on this podcast, and it's finally got somebody who's running all motor car on Nitro. So what's the difference in what do you?
What's your feeling on Nitro?
Yeah,
do you really believe it's all motor?
Obviously you like it, but you use it. But
I mean, you put E85 in your car and you pick up horsepower. You put Nitro in your car and it picks up horsepower. It saves fuel. People would call it a power adder, but there's, at least on the West Coast, there's no restriction on fuel, so why are you going to limit
No
yourself?
restriction on anything
So,
in this
but
state.
my question is, I got into this argument with somebody the other day on social media. I was on someone's post, and to me, it's a power adder because you add it, and they're like, well, you can call that with any fuel as a power adder. But it's still technically a power adder because if it didn't make power, you wouldn't use it in a sense. That's kind of my theory. And also, you add it to make more power. Same thing with E85. You add it to make more power.
Yeah, but
right?
you don't consider E85 a power adder, do you?
I do. I would.
I
I would
don't-
classify it
E85
as.
is a fuel.
It's
I
a
would
fuel.
class
If
it.
you can pour it in, it's a fuel. You know what I mean?
The only reason that I would ever consider Nitro a power adder is because, like I've said on a few of these, it's a molecule away from being a gas versus a liquid. It's a molecule away from being nitropropane versus nitromethane. It's a power adder. It's not.
Call
a
it what
fuel.
you want to call it. I think it's fun and interesting.
Oh yeah, no.
No, I just wanted your opinion on it.
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's rules against it, that's the rules. But you're
No,
still running
see,
it on the
I wasn't talking about that. I was just classifying
the preference of
like
Yeah.
the
what the fuel
classifying
is.
what it is. Is it a power adder or not?
I don't
You
think
know?
so. To me, it's like you could put a bigger set of cams in your car. Is that a power adder versus another cam? No, it's just a modification. You know? You can do many things that'll make more power and it still be naturally aspirated. You could have a turbo car, put a big turbo on it versus a smaller turbo. Does that make it an additional power adder?
Well, technically, I think a turbo would still be a power adder.
Well, no, I'm just saying
he's
if you
saying between
upgrade
like
from a
a
smaller one to a
35
bigger one.
versus a fucking Gen 4 or Gen 3, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Going
I
from
don't-
a
it's
62
probably a
to a
bad
73.
analogy.
No, I get it. But I mean, I guess you would. Me personally, I would say because you're still technically you're just going bigger.
All right, look. I don't say it's a power adder, but it can, in my opinion, it could be construed at it because you can pour in anywhere from 25 to 100 horsepower pretty easily
Yeah,
if you're willing to tune it.
that would good.
Barely see your face.
I know.
Yeah, he likes,
He likes
it
it
that
like
way.
that.
Oh, you have to be that.
Fuck. Interrupting episodes.
So,
Wouldn't be the fucking first one.
I mean, you can pour in horsepower,
Yeah,
but
but it's also, I mean, you look at it this way.
it's still a fuel to me, whether that fuel is regulated
Yeah,
or not.
yeah.
It's not like you're putting nitrous that you're putting something additional.
But it technically
That is
is.
a
It technically is
nitrous
nitrous.
is a separate system.
But it's technically is nitrous. It's just a liquid version
It's
of a gas.
It's a separate system, though.
Yeah.
Whereas your fuel system is one system.
Do you retune on nitro from regular fuel? From
Yeah,
M1?
a little bit. I mean, normally we just tune on nitro and then take fuel out when we put it on M1.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're not the brightest guys, but we figure it out. We've had a few small issues with the AEM, but we've been able to figure most of it out. We've ran anywhere from 20% nitro to 50% nitro over the last few years, just experimenting.
Well, you don't want to be like those crazy guys running fucking 85, 95%?
If I could get it, I would. No, I don't have enough fuel injector to do it. We're
Yeah.
at about 46%. We're maxed out on our fuel injector and fuel pump right now. So the new motor will get a bigger fuel pump, and then we'll kind of see where we're at there. If we need to, we'll go up an injector. But we're maxed out on a 2200 that flows 2600 cc's right now. At 90 psi, it flows 2600. So
Well, when you go with the new one, let me know. I'll buy your 4 injectors, then I'll buy 4 new ones. So I get a cheap version of the 4. It's only 8 of them bad boys.
you're gonna need more than that.
Nah, that's all I need.
If you want to make that power that you want.
So, do you see yourself taking that green car, the Goblin V2, to East Coast, playing on nitro maybe one day?
Here's my thing. I don't want to go all the way to the East Coast to look goofy. Like, if we can get it figured out here, I will take it. If we don't have it figured out here, it's going to stay here.
Yeah.
Makes
Because
sense.
there's nothing worse, in my opinion. Like, I know people have their problems, but I don't
Yeah,
make
you
a lot
don't-
of money.
You
so
don't want to
it's going
spend,
to be
you
hard
want to
for me
spend all
to
the
make
money
a
and all the
trip
time to go all the way over there to
to
break
have it
all
not
the-
run
yeah.
right, to break a rod the first day and not have enough spare parts to
Yeah.
make it through.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that makes total sense.
It's a goal to get there one day, but right now I can't say whether we are or not unless the car's running right and competitive for what we're going to run it at. If we're going to run it on M1, we got to have it competitive out here before we take it out there.
So how long you plan on running that car with that motor? How long until you get the big motor? What?
The big nitro motor, I don't know, I'm waiting on
As
Ken's
soon
race
as fucking
engines.
Ken hurries up.
They're over there sitting outside, so I mean, I could point an elbow, but
Where's he at?
Smile, Ken.
there's them pearly whites. So, it really depends on the whole COVID thing's got everything messed up.
Yeah, of course.
Things are taking longer to get. People are out of stock on stuff.
Oh yeah.
So as soon as we can get the block back from the machine shop, we'll check the deck height and order a set of rods for it. Pistons are already done. Blocks at the machine shop though right now.
Cool.
So,
Are you gonna continue just Port flow with the head?
Tom usually does most of the work on my cylinder heads.
Yeah.
However, he doesn't cut all the cylinder heads. Like, he's very finicky, so if it's one of his things, he'll work on it. If it's not, then he won't. So it's kind of, I have 3 different cylinder heads right now.
So what head are you going to plan on using for the big motor?
I'm not sure yet, to be
Okay.
completely honest.
Okay.
So it might be a new cartel head. It could be an old head that we fix back up just in case we blow it or melt it up.
Gotcha.
It doesn't break the bank.
Yeah.
So, because we're poor over here.
Well, if you had a fucking liquidation sale at this place,
I don't like selling shit because people always complain.
no one is going to complain from anything in this garage.
I don't like dealing with
I
people.
don't like the way my coilovers are. They're a little bouncy.
Hell no.
I want a refund.
Especially because they're Omni.
I don't think. Yeah, right. Them things are never bouncy.
It was a joke.
Never.
I just don't like. I don't like dealing with people.
Yeah.
Mostly, if I have a friend that needs something, then I'll sell something. But
So, what are your... I don't know if we asked this already, but do you have any, like, overall goals with the car at all? Like...
just to have fun, really. If you're not having fun, there's no point in going out racing. I enjoy going out, hanging out with my boys, and my dad's been making it out, so it just makes it that much better of a time when everyone can go out and enjoy being at the track and having just an overall good time.
Yeah.
Whether we win, which is nice, but usually Aaron steals the glory from that one because he's always winning. But
Well, win the other class for once.
I try, but it's been a while, man. I'd be farming it.
Come out to Sacramento, you can win all of them.
Maybe. Well, we had a lot of clutch issues that caused last year that caused us to, caused us to go runner-up twice.
Yeah.
When I believe we should have won, but
I had the same problem.
it rolled through the clutch on the 2-step
My
twice.
clutch was different.
I don't even want to hear this one. Asshole.
I mean, it happens. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
we're still out there having a good time.
Don't
Oh, I was like,
don't
what you
look
got?
at me.
You look like you're about to pull something out. I was like, what you got?
Hey, don't
Factor,
look
what
at
are you doing over there? You on chat roulette or something, or what?
He's talking to
I'm on
Ken.
Plenty of Fish right
He's-
now talking to Ken.
he's
Don't
on
lie, you're on Grindr.
I was just about to say that. Him and Ken.
Ken, why don't you respond back to me, bro? I mean, girl.
They got the joint account.
But really, I would like to get the car into the 8s eventually. If we can do it.
Yeah.
Fools are choking over there.
He don't choke.
We just... we just made a... Jesus.
See, it's Kevin, it's not me.
Bullshit.
We just made a bunch of new changes going from the
Oh,
gray car
shit.
to the new car. We switched from a AEM Infinity to a Motec M400. Got rid of the relay and fuse box and put a Rywire PDM in it. So
You put a little weight too, didn't you?
no,
No?
I'm fat right now. COVID weight.
Not you. I'm talking about the car.
No, that car
You
is
should
heavy.
have
Really?
saw that fucking
Yeah.
coming.
The gray car is cut up. The green car hasn't been under the
Okay.
knife yet.
Okay.
But we still have a little bit of a learning curve with the new ECU and stuff, so we're going to see what it can do. I don't foresee it getting dialed in for at least a race or 2 races, probably. So. And then, hopefully, by then, Ken will have the new motor done and we can try to make some real horsepower.
He's gonna go drop off his motor before he finishes yours.
Yeah.
He's got to line it up.
I got. He's got running cars very well. Mine runs, but it's nowhere near where it needs to be. So,
Right.
My car doesn't run. It needs...
motherfucker, just 20 minutes ago, before we started filming this, you said it runs. It runs.
I can make it run.
It needs
In
a fuel
about
line.
4 minutes.
It needs a fuel
I
line.
got a long fuel line. I can make it work, but...
I thought we were gonna put this on. But anyways, you were mentioning when we got here about some street shit.
Yeah, so...
Are you gonna kind of turn this into a street car?
That's kind of the tentative plan right now, is that we're going to use the gray car, maybe hit some, street functions, and then to go a little 8th mile race, have fun. If there's a test in tune and we just want to go out and make some passes, we can go make some passes. If one of my boys wants to drive it, hop in the driver's seat and try to take a whirl, put him in. Put me in, coach. John's over there with a big old grin.
I was
on his
gonna say,
face, like,
John.
put me in, coach. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
So that's the kind of the plan for the gray car until we blow it up, and then it'll probably get parted out.
Being in the all motor, pro, so to say, class, where you said it's way different. Where do you see the direction that's going?
It's really...
And now let's talk about California overall, because, SoCal is different from NorCal, too. So.
The NorCal all motor guys, anybody can pour in fuel if they want into their car. Anybody can build a car and put fuel in it and race in the all motor class if there's no rules. People go, well, I don't want to put fuel in my car because I don't want to break shit. But if everyone else in the class is on fuel, in the field is on fuel, you can either stick to your guns or put fuel in your car. I mean, we haven't got it figured out like the East Coast guys. That's 100% sure. We have not. But we still have a good time. We go out, we run it. If there's rules on what fuel we can and can't run in the following years, I'll follow those rules. But as of right now, where there's no fuel restriction...
Only one event.
I'm going to run fuel.
There's only one event that has fuel restriction.
Which one is that?
IFO.
They don't have a fuel restriction.
Yes, it does. That was the whole thing when Cliff was talking about Bakersfield. He said no nitro because nobody had a fire suit.
Fuel restriction, though. It was a safety restriction.
Well, yeah, but for the fuel.
If you had the proper safety equipment, you could run nitro.
Yeah.
And
But do you?
Most of it. I have a 15... Here's the thing. Most of the all-motor class guys don't have the proper suit to run methanol.
Yeah.
Or ethanol. If you're on ethanol or methanol, you're required to run a 15-layer suit.
Yeah.
Everyone runs that standard 5, and no one ever says anything.
Yeah.
So...
But I know that. But that was a whole argument that we had online with Cliff and everybody. Everyone was like, "Why are we running nitro? We can't run nitro." And he's like, if you don't have the safety equipment, there's no nitro at IFO."
Here's the problem with that, though, is that there's no... I talked to the techs at NHRA when I was renewing my license, and I'm all, can you give me some kind of guidance on what the car needs if you're going to run it on nitro? Because the only class that NHRA currently runs that's a
nitro class
is like a
top
fuel car, altered fuel cars.
Yeah.
And if they want you to follow those kinds of restrictions, they want you to what is it? The strap the head down and do all kinds of
you have a
shit.
full head strap. It's basically a funny car cage. The suit.
Well, you don't need the cage unless you meet the mile an hour requirement.
But I thought it was still for fuel too.
No, they need vents in the car. Fire suppression, 10-pound minimum fire suppression. They have to vent the cockpit.
That's what it was. The fire suppression. That's what I was thinking of. Because I remember they were talking about Albert's car with that.
Vent cockpit, fire suppression.
But everyone still ran nitro at that event anyways.
Yeah.
And they're like, I can smell it. So I put fuel fingers in mine. And then put a little top lube in it. And it identified as M1. So I don't know what you guys want from me.
Yeah.
It is identified as M1.
I even posted it. My fuel identifies as M1.
I remember you posting that picture of your fuel because you had the plastic jug with it or whatever.
Yeah. So, I've never been secretive about anything I do.
Yeah.
Anyone in the class can call me, ask me a question, and I'll tell them exactly what I've done or what I do.
Well, you're pretty open as it is. 'Cause, not many people are going to sit there and tell you exactly what motor you have, what internals, what my build is, and you'll sit here and tell them every single thing.
Yeah, I don't care.
That's what I'm saying. Most people are...
That's why
I have K-Series, and that's where they're at.
I mean, my shit usually runs...
There's a lot of people
was...
that won't tell you anything.
Last year was probably...
Look at Lewis. He won't even add you on fucking Instagram.
It's because I'm an H2B, that's why.
Prelude guys. No, sorry to all my Prelude friends.
2 people just turn it off.
Right.
Damn, you just cost me 47 cents factor. In my ad revenue.
Whatever, that's 2020's fucking Ken Rich engine. H series for life.
Ken's been doing a bunch of H series lately.
Honestly, I've built way too many H's.
Yeah, we're gonna have one more, then you can stop.
Oh.
Oh, fuck.
Fucking sorry.
The government's watching us, dude.
Playing with that nitro.
They're talking about nitro. DHS is about to roll it right now. But we are gonna try to order a big drum of nitro for next year. Hopefully, if we can get it here. But you've got to do a DHS letter and certify where it's gonna be and stuff from what I've been told. So.
Man, you gonna pick that shit up, put it on a pallet, and drive that some bitch back?
Just go to Mexico.
Oh, Mexico. Well, nobody sells straight, at least local that I know of, sells straight Nitro except for Sunoco. So you have to go through one of their dealers and then.
Have you tried talking to TV?
No. TV. I don't. I've talked to TV here and there. I don't.
No, I'm just saying because I know they're one of the only ones in California. I know that's a huge fucking.
Well, there's a lot of guys around here that'll get straight Nitro, but they run Nitro cars.
Yeah.
They don't run Hondas. They run actual Nitro cars. So they'll sell it to you, but I'd rather just have it, not have to deal with someone. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's.
Oh, Brian's here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
you might have to edit out the middle. No. Fucking sir.
Well, shit. Wow, brain fart is hell.
Favorite track?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Favorite track. All right,
Wow.
It used to be Bakersfield. Bakersfield always had the best air, the best prep, but in the past year, I think Fontana's been a better track. I've ran faster at Fontana than I have at Bakersfield. Fontana's, because it's local too, is one of my favorite tracks. For the nicest facility, I gotta say Vegas. Vegas is a beautiful track.
I haven't been out there since they rebuilt it.
It's very nice. So, I love Vegas. You get to party and gamble and then go do some racing.
Hopefully next year.
We'll be there in December.
Probably not.
Well, we will be, but not at the racetrack.
Probably not.
Them streets are calling.
them streets are calling. That shootout.
Right.
So, do you have any call-outs?
No, I don't call people out.
Nope.
I mean,
Besides me?
you called me out, asshole.
No, I did not.
You said, "What's up? Let me get some space."
See?
I did not say that. You were talking.
You were drunk off fucking Michelob's.
Peeing in closets with somebody.
No, that was John.
That was John.
I wasn't trying to say names. Jeez.
No, but
No, I said. Let's be clear here.
I don't know. I was kind of drunk too.
My motherfucker been drinking more than me today. What I said
That's
was,
a first.
one day, I hope to line up next to you in the same class. That was one of my goals.
Kind of the same thing.
And then you go, well, you can get the hit, motherfucker.
Kind of the same thing.
All right, might have been a little drunk. If I said my bad. You can still get the hit though.
So rude. I'll take it. I'm gonna make you regret that.
All right, fine. I will give you the back tire and the hit.
Oh, okay. Now you're being cocky. Now
This
you've had
should
too
be
many
fun.
Coronas. Now you've had too many Coronas.
No, I think it still would be a good race.
On the street?
On the street, you could get back tire in the hit too.
Oh, no.
Okay. Huh.
No.
I got traction
No,
control.
I don't
We're gonna
care.
make it
We'll go
work.
home, right?
Nope.
Well, we don't when we get back up to it.
Nope. Track, I would take your side, back tire in the hit. Street, no.
That should work on the street.
No.
Maybe not.
I don't care what anybody says. I will never put money against this guy on the street.
Oh, I feel special.
Everywhere else, fuck no, he's slow as shit.
We can bring it to the track then. That way you can feel comfortable betting.
Right. No, it's one of those things. Like, there's people that have, he's raced GTOs and all kinds of shit, and everyone's like, oh, no, fuck that little Honda. And I've seen him run on the track, and I'm like, that thing is fucking slow. My stock car beats his car. But to see him work on the street, his car works.
Remember, I've only been on track for 2 years. I've been on the streets for 10.
I used to race the streets a lot when we were growing up, but lately, with job and everything like that, it's kind of been put on the back burner. Plus, building it's not a stock swapped car that we're racing these days. We're talking.
Oh, yeah.
There's too much money in the cars to get caught on some random street.
Yeah.
Unless there's good money involved.
So, talking about that, let's lead into advice for young people, new racing stuff, because because there is a lot of people who do put a shitload of money into their cars and street racing. What's some advice you can give to them? Like, I'm not saying like tell them don't do it, because do what you want.
Everyone's free to do what they want.
Because you do street, so you can't sit there and tell them don't do the street. But
we live in America. You make whatever choices you want. But I will tell you this: if you're trying to get into a sport, start small. Don't go in and spend the most baller shit on everything, and then go out there and you don't know how to drive the motherfucker, and you end up grenading a $10,000 motor because you thought you were bad as shit. Start small, learn how to drive the car, learn the processes, get good with burnouts, shifting, full throttle shifting, and then build up to having something bigger and better. You know, take your baby steps, learn on cheap parts versus learning on expensive parts, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's what I would say, is get the seat time. Like, my car, we started with almost a bone stock K24 motor, and then just started doing stuff little by little, and then, all right, we got it working, put a head on the car now. Oh, we got it working, all right, put individual throttle bodies on it now. So it was just progression and steps, rather than going and dumping all this money, and then what happens when you blow it up? You're sitting there and you got all these parts, but not enough money to fix the car.
Yeah.
So speaking of, since your little full throttle shifting, power shifting, I asked him earlier, but why aren't you a strain gauge yet? Every all motor car is strain gauge now. Why are you still sticking with your?
I was on the strain gauge for a little bit, but it just didn't seem like we could get. I don't want to name the manufacturer, but
I think he can drive it faster than he can strain it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What is that? That's all.
Either I was driving outside of the parameters, or something.
Yeah.
Because we ended up rounding dogs back-to-back 2 races. I took it off, and the car didn't run much faster or slower with it.
Okay.
So, I mean, I would like to try the strain again, but maybe this year we'll see.
Would you ever think about getting out of dog boxes and going with a
sequential?
Yeah. Since looks like that's the whole new movement of all motor.
For me, no.
It's just money wise.
You're talking about $15,000 in the transmission. How much are the Quaves, Aaron?
You can get them for about $8,000.
Yeah, I said they're about
with
said and done about 10.
No diff with final, like full gear set in the case.
Yeah.
Is about $8,000. I think $9,000 on a discount, of course.
So even $9,000 on a discount
is still they're wild.
Yeah.
I'm not out here winning all kinds of crazy money or anything to be able to justify spending that.
Right, you're not him.
I'm not Fat Kid. Fat Kid made money. He don't blow shit up. Except when he was having a problem with transmissions, I would have to take his transmission out every race.
Well, that was like the day I seen when you guys came to Reading. He was like, "Oh yeah, I got a dog box in the fucking case over there." I was like, "Who carries around a second dog box?"
Because when you break
I know, but it's just like, whoa.
Like when we used his car to do my licensing, when he did my licensing, he broke the transmission on the 5th pass or the 4th pass. So he had to run the last 2 9-second passes with no 3rd gear.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's why you have a spare, because I can swap the transmission in his Turbo Integra in about 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Just by myself. Well, that's out and everything serviced, but with help, you could probably do it in 45 minutes out and in.
That's 20 minutes.
I'm just saying.
I'd say 25 minutes with the right
people. We never really have had to do it at the track, but I mean, I've done it here on the floor, and it takes me 45 minutes.
And I think with the crew that you guys have, and with the Roach Brothers and you guys, I think you guys can fucking definitely do it in between rounds if you have to.
Yes, I mean we've rebuilt a transmission in between rounds before, in Arizona. So, but that was when we were on a stock gear set in his car. And I think the fastest it went on a stock gear set was like 918 or something.
That's crazy.
930? I thought you went 918.
918 with the G-force.
Oh, all right.
Crazy.
930.
So
but it would break a tranny gear every 3 passes.
So what do you have, since you've been racing for so many years, whatnot? Do you have any like super memorable races that you have either between somebody or at a certain track or a certain car? Or
I would have to say the best race that I've had was with Julian from JBK.
Yeah.
We went in the Las Vegas race. We went door to door 979 at 139 both cars. He went 979 with a 6. I went 979 with a 9, but got him on a whole shot.
Yeah. You guys raced in Bakersfield, didn't you?
We always end up lining up against each other.
He has a really fast
car, and he is a competitor.
Yeah.
So whenever we line up, it should have been the finals pretty much.
Yeah.
Because
He's got a nice
we
car.
both have very fast cars that usually always work. So that was the best door-to-door race. Every gear I look over and we're just door-to-door. Every gear is going down.
That's the funnest racing right there.
Is because I've had a lot of races, but you're way out in front, like if you're on a PB pass or something.
Yeah.
But the races where you're door to door and you're driving the motherfucker to try to win.
Yeah.
Those are the best races in my opinion. You could go slower, but it's still the best races.
It's the adrenaline rush that's right there.
You're like trying to fucking put your foot through the floorboard so hard. You're like, come on, I need a little more.
Start humping the air.
You're like, come on now, let's go. I'm definitely guilty of that one and yelling at the car in fourth gear. Like, come on, go,
motherfucker, go!
So,
What about street races? What's the memory that you have?
It's been so long, honestly, since I've actually raced on the streets. It's probably been 20 close to 20 years.
Nothing back there that you can pull out of the memory box.
There was always
Too many
fun
beers.
times. Well, I didn't really drink that much back then, but
No, I'm saying
You said
since
since
then. There was always a lot of fun times at the street races, and even locally there would always be people running on the street. I never really raced on the street after I got to a certain age because I had more to lose that I wasn't willing to. Especially when there's so many spectators that stand way too close. It's just a comfortability thing. Like, as long as you're doing it in a safer environment, I feel better about it. But when you have people standing 3 feet away from where cars are flying by,
Yeah.
shit could go sideways real quick.
Oh, yeah.
And it's happened. Look at all the stuff that's, even in SoCal, over the last few years, there's been a couple people that were killed by cars losing control in the short track.
Oh, yeah.
Like, out of the hole.
Well, that's like
And
that
running
video
over
you've seen
people.
everywhere where the dude got hit right on the launch. Didn't even make it out of first gear.
Oh, the Civic?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like a broken axle and just went left on
Something.
it.
Super
Yeah.
hard, yeah.
So, yeah, that shit like that, it's just not worth it.
Mm-mm.
You know, as long as you have spectators behind the line, then, all right, let's party. But when it's your decision when you pull up to a line, whether you're going to make the pass or not. If you don't feel comfortable with the people that are there or whatever, then back out.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So, on to that, is that something you would dislike in the scene, or what's something you don't like about the scene? And like and dislike, because, like,
Racing.
racing-wise,
Track or street?
either.
one.
Because this show, we do it all in this show. So.
Well, I mean, streets are cool. It's fun to be able to go out anytime. You're like, all right, I'm ready. Let's go out and... I'm not going to wait another 5 weeks till an event comes around. I want to go out and make some hits,
It's
make
kind of
some
like if we want to
passes.
go test the Goblin V2 right now. It's like, fuck it, let's go make hits.
It's already on the trailer.
That's
I
cool.
mean, just saying. But
I mean, the speedway is just...
it's nice depending on what area you're doing it in, too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because in different areas, cops treat people differently. Because in LA, street racing was very bad. There was a point in time where they were taking people's cars
Mhm.
Yeah.
and crushing them. Actually, one of Aaron's old customers had his car crushed,
I
and it
remember.
was on the news.
Yeah.
I think it
he
was on,
sent it over to him. He got caught.
but you know what I mean? It all,
I remember there's a news article that's been floating around for, I don't know, 15, 20 years. And it's a white Civic, a blue Civic, and I think a yellow
The
Civic.
yellow one.
And it was LA that it got
Was that
crushed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the blue Civic was...
The one on the
Yeah,
red
so-
GT3s?
Yeah, the red GT3.
Yeah, it's an EG hatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so.
That's
Shit.
funny.
Yeah, 'cause I saw it on the news.
Yeah.
After it happened, I'm like, oh shit, that's his car. And then I'm like, what happened? He's like, the cop said I was going to go to jail if I didn't sign over the car. I'm like, you got played.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I got pinched for street racing when I was 18, and I went to court, and I thought it was traffic court, and they sent me to criminal court, and I walk in there, and the DA is all right, if you want to plead guilty, I'll knock it down, and you do 60 days in county. I'm all,
shit.
the fuck? I'm all, first of all, y'all didn't take me to jail at the time, you just cited me for street racing. And then, now you're telling me 6 months in jail? So I got an attorney and got it all dropped down, but I was on probation from that for 4 years. So, that kind of curbed my street racing career, I guess you would say. I would still go out, but I just wouldn't drive a car. If I had a car and someone wanted to make hits in it, fuck it.
That's kind of where I'm at right now.
So, it was one of those things that I just couldn't justify going out there and getting jammed up and going to jail for fucking street racing. That's just stupid.
Yep.
To me.
Oh no.
Like actual jail, not like a night. I'll take a night if I have to, but
Oh yeah. No.
real time, nah.
I agree. I mean, I like it. I like street racing. We all grew up in it, but yeah, it's my life now means more to me than some race.
Yeah. And what I like about the track is the environment. Like, your friends that you meet at the track. Like, I've met so many fucking cool people at the racetrack.
You're welcome.
And we all hang out. Like, a couple people on your podcast, like Mason, I met him at the track, and we're friends now. If he needs something, he call me. If I need something, I can call him. You know what I mean? So, I think the streets are cool, but the track is more of an environment where you tend to meet other people that have the same interests that you can vibe with a little bit better.
Yeah.
Where the streets are more like, oh, I'm going to put you on the trailer, you know.
Yeah.
More animosity, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
I forgot where we left off. I had to use the restroom. Well, yeah. So, where were we? Tracks? No, we were.
We talked about that. He said he used to like Bakersfield, and then now he likes Fontana.
So, I mean, shit. Where do you want to go with this, man? What you want to say?
I've never done anything like this. The only time I'm on camera, usually I'm naked.
I told you, take clothes off. Go ahead.
Fuck, you gotta pay extra for that. Follow me on my OnlyFans page.
Your fans only?
OnlyFans.
You can't say it that way. It's copyrighted. You gotta say fans only.
Fans only page. I'd be fixing AC fans, condenser fans.
You and Ken got a page together?
Fans.
So, okay, like we talked about with your brother about the getting people into the stands. Would you say, because he said it was about car show people bringing in the crowds and stuff like that. Do you think it's that, or do you think a lot of it has to do with racing?
I'd say it's 50-50 because most people that go to the events aren't racers themselves. They're just automotive enthusiasts. And for most of these sanctioning bodies to keep prices low for the entry and also the competition, racing or car show, you get more of a variety of people coming to the events. Versus if you only held a drag racing event, you're going to get the guy with his car and his 6 friends, and that's it. Whereas if you have the car show people, hey, I want to go check out some car show and some racing, and there's more to see, especially with the downtime that we see at a lot of tracks.
Oh, yeah.
In between rounds or with oil downs, the car show provides other avenues for people to check.
That's why every
Things
race event should just have a wet t-shirt contest or a bikini contest. So that way when the cars are broke, you got something to go look at.
Exactly. I feel you.
And then you get a Chippendales for Ken.
Yeah. Or Factor. But,
Fucking shit on me on my own fucking show. That's some fucked up shit. If only you guys seen the bloopers.
But I do think the car show brings a lot to the events and brings out some people that may not be into drag racing that actually go and check it out, and they're like, oh, that's really cool. We should go check that out more.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean,
our Vegas event was just canceled due to COVID because there couldn't be spectators.
too many people. Yeah.
So if, say, IFO had to pay the whole gate in Vegas, it's $25,000. And if you only have 100 cars racing, you do the math on that, on how much it's going to cost to run, and then do payouts and everything like that. It doesn't add up.
I get it.
No, I don't.
It sucks, but I mean, some people like car shows, some people don't.
Well, that's what we always complain about with Sac Raceway, because the way Sac Raceway always does their events, it's car show and race. And they always throw the show right in the center of the racing.
Yeah.
So, in the pits. So every time you want to go race, you're going through the car show.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. It sucks.
It's a necessary evil.
But yeah.
And like sometimes I'll go take a look at some of the cars, but usually we're so busy in the pits that you don't really have a chance.
Yeah.
You'll watch.
What? All you do is drink beer in the pits.
Sometimes I race the car.
He eats too.
Yeah, that's right.
Fat kids love to eat, bro. I'm telling you.
No,
I
didn't know.
I didn't get this big by not drinking and not eating.
We talked about.
Fucking asshole. I was just thinking about that too. Can you move your shit?
John,
Move your shit,
remove
John.
your penis, please.
Here, I'll give it back to Ken.
I guess that's got to make the show.
Anyways.
Oh, I got him on the lip. Oh, pobrecito.
Ain't nothing he ain't used to. Come on.
You gave him a fat lip, bro.
He's normally used to like triple that size and black.
Hey, John.
The black hammer.
John, we're filming.
We're filming, guys.
You can edit that out.
I don't care.
Where would you guys like to go with this conversation?
Platonic?
I can't do long distance factor, I'm sorry.
You can't do short distance either. Ain't nobody feel anything.
Told you not to tell anybody, Franklin.
Hey, racing and only racing, guys. Remember that.
Yeah, that's why we run quarter mile now.
That's why if you look that way, it's racing only.
I'm not looking over there. I'm not.
It's a unicorn. Ken's race engine had a unicorn.
Just put a unicorn dildo.
Somebody put the fucking door down.
This is what happens. Should have never let y'all motherfuckers drink.
Y'all.
Whoa. I apologize.
You twisted my arm really hard to drink.
It was 10:30 in the morning. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Holy shit.
All right.
Anyways. So we talked about most memorable race. Is there anybody that you would like to race that you know is in the scene or in your class that you race? Is there anybody that you would like to race? Since you said you don't do call-outs, whatever, but is there anyone that you actually feel you would like to race?
That's not necessarily. I just, like I said, I go out and race and have fun. You know what I mean? I don't specifically, I'm going to go get that motherfucker this week. You know what I mean? But
Your brother's doing some wild shit right now.
He said off with the head.
He said
all right. If there's anyone I'd like to race, I'd like to beat Fat Kid. Because last time we raced All Motor vs. Turbo, I fucking left on him my red light. And he got me by bus lanes. That's one guy I would like to put on the trailer while I'm on the motor is Fat Kid.
Good luck.
I know, I'm going to need a whole lot of nitro for that
You
one.
need that 80-90%, right?
You're going to have to give, he's going to have to give you what you're giving him. Can I get the back tire and the hit?
I think with the back tire and the hit, if we make some real power, it might actually be a good race.
Yeah.
He said you ain't shit.
He said,
he said you're slow.
But no, everyone that I used to enjoy, friendly races with my friends, but, the Goblin V2, me and him, or the Goblin was my buddy's car, and we always used to line up and race for cheeseburgers.
See, that's
So
what
that was fun.
Yeah.
It's a friendly, fun race. You know what I mean? It's not like where you lose and you're mad about it. You're like, fuck, we're going to go out and have a burger one day. It's not...
Well,
it's fun.
That's what's going to happen when I gap him in the BMW and he gives me his $100. It's just going to buy beer.
Oh, yeah. But as far as calling people out, there's not really anybody that I'm like, oh, I want to race them. You know what I mean?
No, I was just saying, but like you said, for the memorable, racing for cheeseburgers type thing, I didn't know if there was someone else that you've always not really looked up to, but just he's good in this program. I would like to line up with him one day.
I mean, I have a lot of respect for the KV Tune guys and the JBK guys because they come out, they bring 4 all motor cars out and they just grind it. They're getting it. You know what I mean? And they're always super good competitors. We have good races, and then at the end, win, lose, or draw, we always shake each other's hands and have a beer. You know what I mean? That's what I think racing's about, not being pissed off about the person that you race, win or lose, you know? We all prefer to win, but when it doesn't happen, you don't need to act like a child about it, you know? Just have a good time. And that's what I like about racing at the track is that most of the people that are in my class, we all get along really well, and we'd be joking around with each other like,
change that shit real soon, my friend.
Hey, let me get the hit, or come on, let me get lane, you know, and it's just a good time, and there's a lot of camaraderie, you know, and especially in our class, it didn't used to be like that. The all motor guys used to be much more cutthroat back in the day, wouldn't say anything like F you and giving each other the bird going down the track. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I think things have changed and we're all having a good time and enjoying what we do. And if people were assholes and people weren't winning, then, would you still keep coming out to the races?
That's kind of like what I was saying last episode. I think everything's kind of changing and everything, like, having fun and everyone's kind of, like, the people that were around, like, I mentioned, like, Rob Easy and a couple, the guys that been on the show, you see them and, their crew and, a couple of their homies and say what's up to everybody. And everyone's willing to help everyone's always willing to lend a hand and stuff. Like, it's becoming a really good community, I think. I think we're building something kind of cool out here on the West Coast.
I think so, too. Everybody gets a... Hold on. Put that down, please.
Yeah.
The only guy that doesn't know any.
Please don't touch that.
Hey, he was a Marine. He's all right.
Yeah, but don't touch that. Don't put your fingerprints on that one.
I think the West Coast has a really solid group of people that have been out at the races lately. And
I don't know.
People come by our pits if they ever need anything. And if we ever need anything, everyone's always super friendly. Shit, we were racing 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago in Tucson, and Jerry Built was pitted right next to us. Had the fastest qualifying time, and he lost the oil pressure sensor. And he's all, "Do you have one?" We gave him an oil pressure sensor because, yeah, we could have been a dick and been like, "Nah, figure it out." You know what I mean? Because they're our competitor. But no, we helped him out, and he eventually won that race.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's no animosity towards anybody if they need anything. Like, if you need something, we got it. We're more than willing to help out.
That's how it should be. I mean, you're there to race. You're not there to
everyone's
someone
got
break
their
and not be
different
able to
groups,
race.
it seems, these days. At least at the West Coast races, but everybody's super helpful to each other.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's kind of clicked up in a sense, but still, you can walk over to someone else's pit and go, "Hey, bro, do you happen to have one of these by chance?"
Or let me get a burger and a beer.
Yeah. Everyone's always that. You know how it is. Everyone's walking, "Hey, burger, beer, whatever you want. You got it."
Exactly, and that's what's great about it. That's with all this COVID stuff. That's what I miss the most is just going and hanging out with people you don't see on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Brain fart. I was gonna ask something else too. Shit.
This whole cast has been brain fart.
Oh, I was gonna say about the
racetrack people. We have a lot of dead air here.
It's alright.
Better edit that.
No, there's a lot of editing I gotta do with this.
Yeah,
episode.
this one's gonna be a workhorse.
Well, at least on the last episode, all you had was the music.
Yeah, the music.
I heard you guys laughing from outside.
We had a quinceañera going on.
He was partying with Bad Bunny again.
Yeah, my boy.
I mean, shit. I mean, that's kind of all I got right now. I mean,
What about you, Kev?
I don't know. I'm so dead aired right now. Every time I was thinking about something, you get one of those two walking by with a fucking toy. Got my mind going elsewhere. See?
Jeez, you guys, hands off. Let's keep it professional.
And you got this loud guy back here with his phone.
Terrible.
And they don't like you. They made your episode be this shitty.
It's pretty.
It's their
terrible.
fault. But just remember, you need to make theirs shitty.
I'm gonna be packing up, starting the truck out. No.
Hey, Gavin Newsom said it's curfew time.
Oh yeah.
It's not 10 o'clock.
Racing and racing only. We're not talking about that shit.
How about that?
Catch me outside.
Just irony.
Do you see yourself going turbo? I mean, we obviously know you can't launch one, but do you ever see yourself figuring that shit out?
Yeah, actually. Ouch. It's true though. I can't launch a turbo car to save my life. I could drive the fuck out of one. I just can't launch it. But yeah, I think the next car I put together is gonna be a turbo car. Depending on what happens in the next few months to a year here, I'm probably gonna start getting some little parts. Stealing parts from Aaron.
That's what I was gonna ask. I remembered now.
To put a turbo car together. I've got an ECU. Aaron's got an old turbo
This fool
manifold.
got an ECU, so he's gonna build a car around it.
Hey, there's a block in the back.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit in the back.
There's enough parts here to build a turbo car. So
Maybe 2 or 3.
I have one of those good timing belts, so I'm gonna go turbo.
plus B series are so much easier to service.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go K? Turbo?
Not a Turbo K, no. Plus, you could put a stock gear set in a Turbo B and make like 700 horsepower and still have fun. You know? And you still go like 950s, 960s.
So, I got a question. Since you're an all-motor guy, since you're old,
Ouch.
what do you
That's
think
the next
racing?
one.
Do you think racing will ever go back to the pro stock era?
No.
Would you ever like to see it going back to the pro stock era?
It would be cool, but there's just not enough.
Especially with the technology we have now. And
I would like to see how fast the cars could actually be.
Yeah.
But there's not enough money in vendors and sponsorship to make it worthwhile for someone to bring a pro stock car out.
But what if you had? I mean, it wouldn't be a big class.
There's no sanctioning bodies that are running anything other than street class cars for
No.
the imports right now.
But I'm just saying, say you had FCS, Jamie, JBR, all these guys that are bigger names that have their own cars. Instead of building an all-motor car or a turbo car or sport front drive car, all of them get into a pro stock. Since they wouldn't need vendors and, this, that, and the other. What if they would be the big boys in a pro stock?
That would be cool. I just don't see the money that you would get to do all the chassis.
Yeah.
Because a pro stock all motor car, as far as I know, was basically a tube chassis car with a K motor in it.
Yeah.
You know?
There's enough of them still floating around, though.
There is. I just don't think there's enough people willing to put in the work.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they would go much faster now with technology.
Oh, hell yeah, they would.
You know? And I guarantee you people back in the day were running fuel, so don't think that that's a new thing.
No. No, but just, you weren't having, 700 horsepower K-Series back then.
Because they weren't pushing the envelope that far.
Yeah.
You had smaller cams, smaller you couldn't accommodate the bigger
I don't think
sets.
the sport was progressed at the level it's at now.
Yeah, well, that's what I said.
There wasn't enough product development at that
Yes.
time. Now there's been so much more product development, ECU development, that you could foresee those cars going much faster.
Well, that's why I said I wondered if you could see that class coming back. I would like it to come
It's
back.
basically like an all-motor outlaw class, but in a tube chassis.
But a true outlaw, not a fuel outlaw.
Well, because all those cars are on dry sump,
Yeah.
everything like that, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
1,600 pounds with driver, 1,650, whatever they're weighing at, light.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
My cars are heavy. It doesn't help that I'm heavy, but
I'd say no diet in the future.
oh, for sure. But I
You or
mean,
the car?
both. This is just COVID weight, baby.
Yeah. So, when I knew you last year before COVID...
I was
And you were
I was
this?
thinner than this. Not much, but a little bit. So, a solid 15 pounds lighter. Maybe 25.
I'm pretty sure he just took a 15-pound shit. So that 15 pounds... There goes the jig! Like I've been saying all night. Don't walk through there. All night. You're going to need to put a light in out there in between the two.
Well, it was never really made to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. My scooter used to be parked there. That was scooter parking. Who fell over there?
Jessica.
Yeah.
Oh. Go check on her.
Ken
He's
did.
still laughing. He has not stopped laughing.
He doesn't want to get beat. There's no scoring like a Salvadorian woman.
Anyways.
Anyways,
She come through with
Hey.
the fucking machete.
Shh. You had your chance.
no one interrupted you except to bring in the food.
And the dog.
Yeah,
And the music.
And
dog. Music.
That was only three. You and your unicorn over there
It's not my fault that he likes dick.
on his forehead.
Factor was looking at it.
You're gonna fucking hate
Oh,
that.
everybody was looking at
We all saw your pants moving.
Factor's like, check this out, no hands.
Oh my gosh, you guys are.
I held the
terrible.
bottle up.
Holy shit.
Tap
All right,
it.
let's continue this so we can get done.
Oh, man.
Alright, so pro stock, yada yada.
I think pro stock would be cool as shit if they could get enough people.
I just look at it as like you said, the outlaw class. I think the bigger name people should be running like a pro stock class because at least like I do, you go to NHRA, you don't go there to go watch the 1260 class or even the little guys. You go there to watch the fucking big name sponsored cars running a pro stock car.
Here's what I've noticed
That's the enjoyment.
over the past few years
Uh-huh.
that back when you had Hot Rod and Pro Stock.
Yeah.
All of those people now are using those same budgets that they had to put into essentially a street class car. Like, you saw Sport front wheel drive go from like not really an entry level class, but a class that almost anybody could compete in.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at what that class is doing, how many of the cars have been 7s?
Fucking
8 cars already been in the 7s?
Shit, it's up there.
Well, that's the crazy.
No, there was
part.
11
I mean,
cars. You know,
it's
there was 11
progression.
cars. I saw it the other day, and I remembered. I was like, I should mention that on the podcast. There was 11 cars. I saw they posted a list about it. It was 11 cars.
Well, that's the crazy part is you go from, I don't know, just say 5 years ago, Sport front wheel drive 10 seconds was fast.
Yes.
Now, damn near the whole class is shooting for a 7.
Yes.
That's 3 seconds in 5 years. That's wild.
Here's what's crazy is that the way I see it is that you have all these, say, hot rod people, and then since that class died out, those people use their technology and put it into a street class where you're essentially pushing out the smaller guys who could never compete in hot rod classes or pro stock, but wanted to go out and race all motor or turbo. And now they had a place for it for a while, and now you can't do it unless you've got this huge budget. You can't afford to compete. You know what I mean? Like, for World Cup, for M1, how much money do you think are in those people's motors?
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
For your average individual.
You're spending 12 grand just on a 4-piston
There's no way
block.
I can, or you as all motor can go there right now, M1, no sponsorships, and go there and compete. You really can't unless you're big ballin'. You really can't.
Well, there are those people that, like Adam Hall. His shit flies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he doesn't... I don't know him personally, never talked to him, but his shit fucking works. You know what I mean? And he runs 4-piston, but I don't know what their deal is, if he's paying a ton or if he's just buying parts from them and they're doing the stuff themselves. I don't know, you know? But for your average individual, you're not going to go out there and run 940 on M1, 920 on M1.
Yeah, you know, you're not doing that.
There's just, at a certain point, you just don't have enough money to compete in the class.
No. And that's why I said I think the whole, pro class would be awesome to come back. Because you would have people like that have that crazy money that are dumping into programs, dump into a class that's not going to push all the little guys away.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. Because gone are the days of, where you had your quick 16 class, hot rod, pro stock, all motor street cars where you actually had to have glass windows and you had to have interior. Like, all those rules are gone now.
Yeah.
You can have Lexan anything. You don't even have to have one seat, half a dashboard if you want,
Yep.
There's no enforcement of the rules for a street car.
And that's kind of like how I've always talked about it, or we've talked about on this quite a few times, that you don't have a set rule or a set class for every event.
Well, you kind of did until...
No, what I'm saying now. I'm saying now. Like, you go to IFO or go to SAC or go to H-Day or go to World Cup,
the sport
they're
front
all
classes
different.
all fall under the same general rule, though. 72 millimeter.
Yeah, but
and
that's
a
sport
25
we're
inch
talking
tire.
about all motor.
I'm talking about everything. Everything.
Well, I mean, like, on the all motor side, you either got M1 or Outlaw on the East Coast.
But that's not true not until this year. Last year they didn't have an outlaw class.
Last year,
it just started.
It wasn't until World Cup last year. The World Cup.
But they were
2019.
testing fuel.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm
you
saying
could not
class
use
rules.
and then you could not use nitro in competition, and some people did, and they got caught. And then
Your boy.
Yes.
so
Fucking cocky.
Fucking cocksucker, huh?
we're gonna be positive on the show, all right, guys? Positive. We're gonna be
That is
positive.
Positive for Nitro.
The only cocksuckers allowed here is this guy, okay? That's it. And you.
The test came back positive. In fact, you are gay.
I just like the
All right, you guys, we were having a good.
Yeah,
we were having a
we're
good.
going
We were
good.
having a
Shit.
good one
So
too.
And then you fucking turned it.
Yeah, blame this on me. The peanut gallery.
Your friend.
no,
I didn't name drop.
no, hey, technically you fucked that one up because you're the one.
I
that
did not.
laughed.
I said cocky.
And then the peanut gallery out there.
But no, and then after that, I even told him after that, I said, look, I guarantee you, there's going to be a
No,
Nitro Outlaw class
when that happened
3 weeks later. Because TB went out there, smacked everybody up. I think I even said it in the fucking podcast. He went out and smacked everybody. I think it was Rob Easy's episode. And went back and what happened?
Not Outlaw class, yeah.
Not Outlaw class.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's...
It's progression, but
no, and there's nothing wrong with it. No, I agree with it. That's cool. Let's have
here's the
different
thing,
classes.
because people are trying to run a number.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then you've got your people that don't want to run fuel. They don't want to experiment. They don't want to be hard on parts. So they don't. And I totally understand that, too. But when you have 25 different cars that run M1 and a 16-car field that'll run Nitro is a whole lot more than we have out here.
Well, that's also, that falls into the category, like how you said, well, there's no quick 16, no hot rod, none of this, that. You also don't have event series where you're running for points anymore. You're not running for money and points. All they're running for is a straight number. They all want a record.
Nobody cares about winning first. They just want to run a number.
The kind of thing is, too, is like, your all-motor class in Bakersfield is not the same. Doesn't have the same rules as it does in Fontana. And it doesn't have the same rules it does in SAC. And it doesn't say, but that's what I'm saying. There is no rules. And I think Bakersfield kind of pushes their rules a little bit, but I think it's more the IFO
safety
thing.
rules. There's no.
That's what I'm saying. There's
rules.
no class rules really. You can get away with it. I think the only one that kind of enforces it is the racers themselves, but it's kind of like who's a all motor class that doesn't run Nitro out here. That's competitive. Do the JBK guys do?
I don't know. Fusang's the only
Does
one
Jerry?
I know.
Jerry run Nitro?
I can't confirm or deny, but the only people I can say for sure that are on M1 or M5 is John Angel, but he's been having problems with his car.
Yeah.
Fusang,
and those are really the only people I know that haven't touched fuel.
Okay, now Fusang, All Motor Pro, who also runs at fucking Sac Raceway and All Motor Pro, Albert.
Lawrence,
not in the wilds, but Nitro. Albert runs Nitro and Fusang doesn't.
They run the same exact.
But when they go to SAC, there's nobody that says, "Look, you're an All Motor Pro, you're on Nitro, and you're not. You're okay, but you need to take Nitro." There's no one clarifying that in the West Coast. I think what we're talking about.
Because there's no rule against it. It doesn't say, "Oh, you're on Nitro, you can't run this." It doesn't say there's a fuel.
No, but that's what I'm getting at is why is there not a set standard for everybody?
Because there's not an organization that has a fuel rule or weight.
The problem is that if you set a standard,
you have to have people to enforce it.
Well, I think that goes along too is with different promoters because different events. All
right, look, if you've been all the events you've been to, have you seen anybody get on a scale?
No.
Exactly my point.
But I work at scale companies, so I can put your shit on scale.
I'm just saying my shit's heavy, but the problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's more equipment to buy, and then you have to pay somebody to sit out there and test fuel.
And scale cars. I remember when they used to weigh us after every race at old IDRC, years and years ago. I think it was IDRC. But they don't scale cars anymore. They don't do any of that. It's really just like a outlaw racing, I guess you would say.
Well, I mean, on the East Coast, they scale cars. I mean,
I know, the East Coast
World Cup, they do.
At H-Day 2, I believe they do. Mm-hmm. But IFO, he doesn't take it that seriously. He
puts the rule out, but he doesn't enforce it almost.
IFO is more like come and race, have fun.
Yeah.
It's not come out here, set a record that has a standard.
Yeah.
It's just come out, come race.
Well, also, the reason why IFO doesn't have those rules is because he doesn't want to limit the people that are going to come through the gate.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's where, like I was saying, where it falls under different classes. When you have a hot rod, a 16
here's
turbo,
the problem with you when you say all motor M1 and outlaw all motor on the West Coast is there's 12 cars that might show up to a race.
Yeah.
Regardless what fuel they're on, you might have 12 all motor cars.
I think kind of like if let's say you put your car on Nitro and I stay with the H and I go on Nitro, it's not going to be competitive with you. You know what I mean?
Make your car lighter. Put a K in it. No one told you to put an H in it.
You're getting off topic here, okay? What we're talking about
is the fact that you don't want to go fast.
Thanks for being on the episode. Once again, I'm quitting the show.
I'm just kidding. No, preludes are cool, and there's a lot of people that
I don't have a fucking prelude.
H22.
But my car's not a Prelude.
H23.
I'm not talking about your car. I'm talking about the motor.
Yes.
Sorry.
H-gang.
I'm sorry, H gang.
He even has
It's
an
a
H
blue
shirt.
top. It's a blue top.
It's a blue top, damn it. Get it right.
Actually, it's a chrome top. He thinks he's fancy.
You polished it, didn't you? Or did you hit it with
Hey,
all
when
Mexican
someone-
chrome?
No, my shit ain't Mexico.
Hey, can
Come
you
on.
polish it like you did Kenny?
Alright, stop from the peanut gallery, Aaron.
Oh, Jesus.
So,
Well, there goes your Christmas gift. Fucking Judas.
Right?
so I think
But
that
but what he was saying was about it would deter people because
now you got to fit in.
if like it's like this in SAC, if I go there on Nitro and I whoop everyone's ass, but then you're not there and I come down here
It's
and
like
you're on
catch
Nitro,
pads.
there's no way I'm gonna catch you.
It's like catch pens back in the day. A lot of people wouldn't run the heads-up classes because they didn't have a catch pen.
Mm-hmm.
So they would just run other classes because you're forcing people out that don't fit into the rules of having catch pens and the safety equipment.
Why not progress and change to the rules?
Because for some people,
lazy and
That's
money.
what rules are
some
for.
people just come out and they'll race their street car that's fast, and they
Well,
don't
take
put
that
a catch pen
Take
on
that
it.
shit to Wednesday night
Don't you
then.
fucking talk about Mason like that.
Mason's my boy. No, but like when we were in Tucson, a guy oiled down the whole track.
You ever
And-
been to a SAC event? Almost every other car oils down the track.
So that's why it's so loose.
Almost every other car oils down that
Sacramento
track.
doesn't like my all motor car.
Sacramento doesn't like any cars.
I broke second gear.
That's because you bring people.
All right, you had your time to shine. So it would be cool to see an event promoter take it seriously and make class rules that fit.
Well, then I think that falls under the. Just use IFO for an example. If IFO did every West Coast track, not just Fontana, Vegas, did Vegas, Sac, Reading, Fontana,
Reading's
Vegas.
too small.
No, I'm just saying.
But
But
yeah.
if you did every single track and held a series, not just a number.
The problem is there's not enough money in holding a series like that for a promoter.
I don't think in this day and age there is.
IFO's been doing it for how many years?
But what happened this year? Are they closing more and more tracks across the country?
Fontana's gonna be closed.
I hope not.
Forever?
Yeah, they sold it, so who knows if the new owners are gonna run it back.
They sold the lease this year.
So we'll see. I mean, we might only have Arizona, Vegas, and Sac.
Bakersfield.
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 Eh.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, it would definitely be cool to see them come out with the rules and scale people that put. Doesn't matter if you're over, but put everyone on. You've got to meet this minimum
Yeah.
requirement.
Oh yeah.
That way, it's fair across the board because you'll see people go out there, especially at IFOs, with a car that's way underweight technically for what they should be at 2450. you
Yeah.
know?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it would make it. It would be funner to me to see. But I like heads-up racing. I don't like the same
I would
chasing a number bullshit all the time where you're just trying to break your car to hit a number. You're not racing repetitively heads-up racing.
I think with the appropriate rules in place, you would see a lot more heads-up racing
Yeah.
than you see now, where people are getting gapped more.
Yes.
I guess you would say you would see more door-to-door races
Yeah.
with an established rules that
You would
have
also
to be
see.
followed.
I mean, I think you would see a lot more racing because a lot of times now you see so many people braking, trying to go to the max they can possibly go.
I mean, everyone wants to go fast as they can.
Well, of course, but when you have to make another event next week because you have.
You
you
better
know.
hope you have parts at home.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had races where we come home from a race, and then I take the car apart, pull the motor out, do bearings in it, do rings, put it back together, and then I'll pull Aaron's car out of the trailer and do bearings and a clutch on his car if it needs it.
Yeah.
And it makes for a really long fucking week after work, but I mean,
Yeah.
as long as you have parts and you're willing to put in the time, for some people,
Yeah,
they
but
don't
there's-
have the time.
There's kind of a difference between you putting in bearings and someone putting in a $15,000 sequential transmission every event.
Yeah, I don't have money. So I don't know.
Or a 4-piston long block every event. Or.
Sounds like white people problem.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's two different levels, but I mean, you look at it that way. If you have someone that's racing.
A budget will usually always win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can go out and have fun, but a budget will win. A budget affords you the parts and to push it as hard as you want, knowing that you have another one. We just got to bring our stuff home and band-aid it because we don't have another one to make a race. Fucking ducks.
Fucking toads.
Fucking factory, are you leaking stuff?
Fucking.
Kenny, go clean them up. Hey, go let them clean.
He needs a new remain seal.
That wasn't even me. Someone over there fucking farted. It wasn't even me. So,
Flocking ducks and shit. You're heading south, dude.
well, we know who did it.
No, it was fat.
No,
He's been doing it the whole fucking night.
We know who's heading south tonight. Kenny on Factor.
That means I gotta sleep on Sean's floor because he's gonna sleep at the hotel with
They
him.
shared the twin bed.
Yeah.
That we're pushing together.
Wicked
No,
spoon.
they're gonna lay on top of each other in the twin bed.
All right, Aaron.
Anyways.
Wait till the break.
All right, we're like this close. We're almost done.
That close.
This close to done. About the size of your dick.
I was
We're,
gonna say
we're
that.
about there.
You're not helping the situation.
See, what had happened was...
Those are fucking ducks, dude.
Alright, Anaheim Ducks?
Anaheim ducks.
Anyways, so
Point systems.
no, I don't know.
Budgets.
It's
I think
get it, but it's
going
just
fast comes down to budgets usually. You'll see a consistent guy, you'll see a very fast guy, but a fast guy that you might not see every race because they're pushing it so hard, blow it up, hurt the motor, and then they're waiting for their builder to get them a new one put together or whatnot.
I guess it's just me personally then, because I would rather hit every IFO, watch him go 850s, heads up every race,
I would prefer to
than
see
watching somebody go fucking 790s once and then blow up and not race the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think
That's just me.
for me, some people are about chasing the number. For me, I enjoy going out and going racing, so
Yeah.
I want to make as many passes as I can on the track.
Yeah.
And have a good time.
Well, that was like the last Bakersfield. He melted the head. You know how many heads up races happened that night? That event was fun.
Yeah, that was a pretty badass event.
That event was fun.
And we went rounds with a
Yeah.
blown up motor. Exhaust
It
coming
was-
out of
it was
the
fun.
out of
that,
the.
that day was fun.
Yeah. So, you got anything else?
Nope, I'm done.
Oh,
You got-
he's done.
Get the fuck out of here.
You got any shout outs you want to give out?
Shit, there's a lot of people that take care of us. Jeremy at Drag Cartel, Lawson over at AEM, Elmer at Arius, CP Carrillo, Insane Mike at Insane Shafts, Maxima Oils, Ken's Race Engines, King
Fuck
Bearings,
those fools.
Nippon Racing, guy's great if you ever need a cast piston. They just made a Vitara copy piston where you can run a factory rod on, or factory length single cam rod. They make a lot of good aftermarket stuff. Power Pros, RC fuel injection, and I'm sure I'm probably forgetting a few, but those are the people that help us out. And Fat Kid, he built the wire harness for my car and tuned it
How long did it take?
a week to build the harness.
How long did it take you to finally build it?
A long time. So
I wasn't incentivized.
You should have said can over.
all right.